You know who it is. If you do not have this game, get it. Battlefield 6 came out recently, a couple weeks ago, October of 2025, and it's quite a bit of gigabytes, 75 gigabytes approximately. It's taking a while to download. In the meantime, well, I'll just say one more thing on this. It is basically like training for the military. We'd play this in the military when it was just they just had Battlefield 1 a long time ago. Now there's Battlefield 6 updated, realistic, high graphics, and it's pretty awesome. It's pretty badass. So it's different than Call of Duty. That's more like scenario, cinematic, storytelling, stuff like that. So it is different. If you want more intense, kind of realistic, whole type of warfare scenario, this is the game. So what I was gonna say is that it's like training. Even movies. When you watch a movie, a military movie, training movie, there's fighting. You're like, how would I fight? What would I use? Would I use a pen to stab someone in the eye or the neck or something to defend myself? And if it was life or death, I couldn't get a knife, or whatever. If you have a gun or whatever, where would I shoot them? The chest, the head. Two to the chest, one to the head, or immediate incapacitation, just directly in the brain, disconnecting the brain and the spinal cord, which severs, the connection from the brain and the spinal cord. So even if they had a gun and their finger was on the trigger, they cannot pull the trigger. The enemy cannot pull the trigger if you shoot them in a specific part of the brain because their brain cannot tell their finger to move at all. You've disconnected that connection. You've severed that connection, and you're aiming basically like in the ear or the T zone between the eyes and the nose area. You aim a bullet back there or in the ear, it's gonna hit the part of your brain where it's connected to the brainstem, where your brain's connected to the spinal cord, the brainstem back there. You sever that connection, everything below the every muscular function below the break cease to function. So, some people break their necks and can still breathe and all that, whatever. I'm not sure into all the science, but all muscular functions below the break cease. So, if like someone breaks their neck, they're quadriplegic. They can't move their arms or their legs. They can't do it, but they can still breathe, right? And their heart still beats, right? So just muscular function. And so that's how you immediately incapacitate a threat as a sniper or even a marksman on the field on the battlefield. SWAT does it. SWAT utilizes those tactics to immediately incapacitate. If there's a hostage situation, they're aiming for the brain. SWAT snipers are aiming for the brain. So games like these are basically like uh, training soldiers and also like movies. You can watch certain movies and they tell you can play Xbox, PlayStation 5. Xbox has that trigger, bam bam. I think PlayStation 5 also has that trigger type of, functionality on the controller. And it's basically like realistic training. What would I do in this situation if I was in that situation? If you're watching a movie, what would I do in this situation if I'm playing this game? Where would I run? Would I throw a grenade? Would I shoot? Would I snipe? This and that, or would I run and take cover and then shoot from a different area? Stuff like that. So we're gonna kick this game of chess off real quick, bullet chess. See how I do. Hopefully I don't do too bad. And I'm still on my way to learn a bunch of different moves, practicing the Sicilian defense. I wasn't black this time, so I couldn't do it. Yeah, he's going after my knight for sure. But I'm not having that. Will he take? He's developed his side quite nicely. Give him a bullet chest, no music, and I'm pretty trapped back here. Okay, he's doing pretty good for himself. Okay, we got a free bishop. Guess he didn't see that one. Um, He's probably gonna get me on time. I am losing my time. Let's see if I can make him think. He might abort. I won. Yeah, he's down a piece. I guess that's the way it is sometimes. So, I did take a free bishop. He was too aggressive with his queen, and he was doing well, but he wasn't paying attention. So back to this game. You know, I haven't played these games in a while. I'm gonna start recording some of these and seeing how I do. And it's kind of traumatized. A lot of veterans play games like this, and when you die, or one of your soldiers dies, or one of your virtual friends, or if you're playing multiplayer, it could be like how you can have flashbacks, or you think real deeply, and then especially if you're doing drugs or drinking or stupid things like that, you could get emotional, and you might get angry and all that, and you could hurt yourself and hurt someone else, or you could just damage property or do something stupid and get drunk and black out and really do something stupid. But it's different for everybody, and this is TV. This is for mature audiences, so I'm just speaking like an adult, saying possibilities of what can happen out there. A lot of people talk shit on these multiplayer modes, and like I just waxed you, or took you out like you were nothing, or you never existed. Those be talking shit, mad shit. Like now so it's kind of like traumatizing for some people because you know you might know someone who actually lost their life out there, or so. But on the other hand, they don't really know what they're talking about. They don't really. I wouldn't take it personal because kids are on here, like kids, 13, 14-year-old kids talking shit. And I remember back when I was younger growing up, and some of my friends were playing games like these, and they thought it was funny. They just thought it was funny. Like I don't know, they just I was never really disrespectful like that, and I'm still not going to be. I'm gonna try to keep it professional. You have a squad, you're just trying to accomplish a mission, and sometimes you do cuss or curse, but just try to keep it within parameters. Uh, so that's the video for today. Stay safe and take it easy.